Hey, hi, we're live. Welcome to Superdrug Presents. How are we all? So I'm Sam, and today I'm just going to be talking you through my go-to summer makeup look. I'm using all Missguided products and Superdrug B products. And yeah, this is really beginner friendly, so don't worry if you're not like a makeup pro. It'll be really easy to follow along. So yeah, just before I get started as well, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone that's actually bought tickets and that's watching me tonight. I've seen you all in the chat and it's honestly got me so excited. So yeah, is everyone ready? Have you got your boxes? Also, if you've not got your boxes, don't worry because this is recorded, so you'll be able to watch it back if you miss anything or if you can't follow along at the moment. But yeah, let's get started. So since this is quite a glowy look, we want to start with prepping the skin. So my first step, I'm just going to take this Superdrug B Prep and Set Mist and I'm just going to give my face a wee spritz. And then I'm going to pop some hyaluronic acid, and this is the Me Plus range from Superdrug. So I'm just going to pop a few drops on my face, and you want to do this while your face is still a bit damp with the setting spray, just so that your face gets as moisturised as possible. So this is like your skin's like drink of water. This is what's going to really hydrate your skin from within. And then I'm just going to go in after with some of this moisturiser. This is the Vitamin E Moisturizer from Superdrug. And you only need a tiny bit of this moisturiser. A little bit goes a really long way. And I just like to do a little pat just so it absorbs a wee bit faster. And then the most important step of your skincare prep is SPF. If you're not wearing SPF every single day, you have to. Even if it's literally snowing, the sun is still there. And a lot of people are worried that SPF is going to like disturb their makeup, but trust me, it doesn't. I feel like it actually gives my makeup more of a glow. So yeah, you want to apply quite a lot of this just so you know that you're getting all the protection that you need. So I'm just rubbing this in, making sure to try and avoid like my eye area. So yeah, I'm going to give my hands a wee wipe. And that is us done with the skin prep. So let's get on to the makeup. I'm going to start with my brows. And we've actually got an exciting little sneak peek. This is Missguided's Come At Me Brow. And this is going to give you that laminated soap brow effect. So this is coming out on May the 19th. I'll just show you how it works just now. So I'm just taking a nice spoolie. This is from Superdrug. This is the N501. And I'm just really loading up this product onto the brush. And at first you just want to make sure you're brushing all your hairs up, getting them all coated. And then once they're in a kind of position that you're happy with, you can start applying some pressure and like slicking them down. So I'm just gonna start applying a wee bit more pressure and slicking them down like this. And also if you like them really slick, you can just take a clean finger and go right over them, and then these will literally stay put for the whole day. What's everyone's opinions on the laminated brow trend? I know some people love it and some people hate it. I personally love it. I don't know what I did before it, to be honest, because my brows are literally the thinnest things in this entire planet. So this is the only thing that I can do that actually gives them a little bit of shape. There we go. And then when I've spiked them up, I just like to go right round the edge and kind of just define them just a tiny wee bit so they're not spiking all the way up. Perfect. And because this is a balm and we applied quite a lot of it, there's going to be a wee bit round the edges of your eyebrows, so you just want to take a wee wipe and just make sure you're getting rid of like all of the residue, because you just don't want it affecting your foundation, getting in the way, making it patchy or anything like that. So I'm just going round with my wee wipe. Okay, so now we can move on to skin. I usually do eyes first, but today, because we're using the same products that we're using on our face, on our eyes, I'm just gonna start with foundation. So I'm using the Superdrug B Filter Finish foundation, and my shade is B13. I'm just popping a wee bit on the back of my hand, and I'm going to blend this in using an N304 from Superdrug B. So I'm going to start with just a small amount, and I like to work from the inside of my face outwards, because on the inside of my face is where I've got all this redness, so I like to keep as much coverage as I can there, and then slowly blend it out the way. And you just want to push this into your skin. I don't like to go in any like buffing circular motions. I feel like when you really take the time and press it in, it blends in so much better. And it looks like it's actually part of your skin rather than just foundation like sitting on the top of your skin. So I'm just pressing all that in. And my face is a tiny bit more tanned than my neck, so I'm just going to bring that down just so we don't have any lines anywhere. Okay, perfect. And you can build this up as well. If you only like a really light coverage, just apply a tiny amount, but you can get it all the way up to full coverage if you just keep layering it up like how I'm doing. Usually I just do this in the centre though, just where I need a little bit more coverage. Right, perfect. So now I'm going to go on to concealer. And I'm going to be using the Missguided Meteor Match Concealer. I'm not sure what shade this is in, but I think it's the lightest shade. And usually when I conceal, I like to have two different shades. So I like to have one that's really light and bright, and then one that's slightly darker. But nobody really wants to go out and buy two concealers, so I'm just going to mix my concealer with my foundation and use that first, because I feel like when it's not too bright, it conceals a bit better, and then you can go in with your brightening concealer afterwards. So I'm just popping this right where my eye bags are and up onto the lid a wee bit, because we're just going to use this as like a base for what we put on our eyes. Just popping this on. And then I'm just going to go and blend it in with the foundation brush as well. Just so that everything is proper, nice and seamless. And when you're highlighting and contouring and stuff, everything's different for everybody. So like where I'll need to conceal quite a lot under my eyes, you can just use a wee tiny bit. Right. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in with the lighter shade. So like I said, this placement will be different for everybody, but I personally like to highlight the sides of my nose. So I'm going to pop a wee bit here, and my forehead, and a little bit on my chin. And I'm just going to blend that out with the same brush. And then underneath my eyes, I'm just going to use a wee bit of a more precise brush, just because I don't want this product to really move. I want to keep it where I've put it. So this is a N401 brush, and I'm just going to pat that all in, keeping that really nice and where I've put it. I don't want to blend it out too far. Okay, so now for contour, we've got this contour stick. This is by Superdrug B. It's actually a highlighting contour stick, but I'm just going to use the contour side of it. And I'm just going to pop this everywhere that I want to contour. So I used to put my contour down about here, but now I like to start from the top of my ear, because I feel like that actually lifts my face a bit more. So everything I put on my face, I usually do a bit higher now, because I feel like it makes you look nice and defined. And I'm just going to pop a wee bit on my temples. And I'm also going to contour my eyes, because we're going to be using the same bronzers on our eyes as we are on our face. So this just helps everything all tie in. And I'm just going to blend this all out with the same foundation brush. When you've got a little bit of foundation left on your brush, it just really helps everything blend in more because of that wee bit of foundation that's left there. So it kind of mixes it together so it's not going from like dark to light. So I'm just buffing that in. And contouring your eyes is actually a really good trick to use. I used to use it on all my clients because when you're wanting to do like say a dark eye or a smoky eye, you don't want to have to be sitting there putting on like 3 or 4 transition shades. If you just contour your eye with some cream contour, then you're basically halfway there already, which is really good. There we go. And then my favourite thing to do, or my favourite place to contour, is my nose. I just feel like it can change your face so much. So I'm just going to pop a wee bit underneath my nose here, and a little bit, just a tiny bit, on the bridge of my nose, going down either side. There we go, and I'm bringing it right up into the front of my brow as well. And kind of like when we were highlighting under our eyes as well, you don't want to be like buffing this in, you just want to be patting it in so that you can keep it exactly where you've put it and you can keep your lines as defined as possible. As I get to the top of the brow though, I can start to buff it in just a wee bit. And if you think it looks a bit too harsh, or you've accidentally put on a bit too much, foundation brush, always, every single step, I usually just go over my full face with this just to make sure everything is nice and seamless. So our base is looking pretty good just now. So I'm going to move on to some liquid blush. So I'm going to be using the Superdrug B liquid blush in the shade Apricot, and we're actually just going to show you a little video of all the other colours and what they look like on different skin tones just now. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a wee bit of this on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use the Superdrug B N309 brush, and I'm just going to pick up a wee bit of this and just kind of stipple it onto my cheeks. Liquid blush is like my favourite blush. What's your guys' favourite? Are you a powder blush gal, liquid blush, no blush? There's going to be a wee poll in the chat so you can answer down there. But yeah, I love this colour, it's so bright. And you can layer this up, you don't need to go too ham. I like to put quite a lot of blush on. And I like a wee bit on my nose as well, because, you know, it's a summertime look. You want to look like you've actually caught the sun a wee bit. We're actually going to use this on our eyes too, but I'll show you that in a wee second. Perfect. So with what's left on the back of my hand, I'm just going to take the Superdrug B 402 brush, and I'm going to pick up some of this colour. I actually might need a little bit more, so I'm going to put a wee bit. And this is just going to act as a wee base for what we're going to put on later. There we go. So I'm just applying this on like the inner portion of my eye. And it's just going to be like a light wash of colour, because we're not going too dramatic with the eyes. But it's just going to be really nice because it's going to tie in with our cheeks, because we're just using the exact same stuff. It's going to be quite a cohesive look, monochrome. There we go, and we're just blending that into the contour that we put there earlier. I'm just going to put a tiny bit more on actually, because I want it to just be a little bit brighter. Right. There we go. So now that we've got all of our liquid products on, I'm just going to go ahead and start setting everything. So this is the baking powder by Superdrug B. And because we still want to be quite glowy, we don't want to put too much powder on. So I'm just picking up like the tiniest bit, kind of dusting it off in the cap a wee bit, like that. And I just like to focus mine underneath my eyes so they don't crease, and maybe a tiny bit on like my forehead and chin. But this just really depends on how oily you are, how long makeup usually lasts on you. My skin's quite dry, so I don't really tend to need too much powder, but I just like a bit so that I can be like sure that it's going to stay on all day. So yeah, just a wee bit down here. Perfect. And then now we're just going to put some bronzer on. This time we're doing a powder bronzer, so this is just going to set the cream contour I put on earlier. So I'm going to use the Missguided Instant Vacay Duo Bronze Powder. So it's got like a darker shade and a light shade. And I'm going to put that on with the N306 brush. I'm just going to do a little mix of the two. I'm just going to buff that on everywhere that I put the cream contour. So I like to pat this in, especially because we've not put powder on that area yet. You don't want to go in straight away and start going like buffing it all in, because you might move the foundation and stuff underneath that's still wet. So I like to pat in to make sure everything's set, and then you can go in and do a little bit of like buffing. This is such a nice colour as well. Our cream contour was a little bit cooler, and this has got more of like a warm tone to it. So it just really helps warm up your face. And I'm going to pop a wee bit of this on my jaw as well. Bring that out a wee bit. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this Radiance powder. So this is kind of like a blush and a highlight in one. What colour is this? This is number 2 Peachy. So I'm going to pick this up on an N308 brush. Just really load this up. And because this has got a nice sparkle in it, it's kind of like a highlighter as well. So you're going to like enhance the blush that we put on before, but we're also going to get a bit of glow. And I just like to pop this just kind of where I would put highlighter and over my blush. Maybe going to do a wee bit on my nose as well, just anywhere I want a wee bit of glow. Now I've ended up just putting it everywhere because I want it to be nice and shiny. Right, so for the eyes, we're not going to use anything new. We're going to use the exact same 2 products that we've just done on our cheeks. So I'm going to go in with one of these little fluffy brushes. What one will I pick? I'm going to go with the N404 brush. And I'm just taking that bronzer again, but I'm just going to keep to the darker side of it. So I'm going to get some of this on my brush and start packing that on where we put the cream contour. And then just buffing it out up towards my temple. I think that when you put your eyeshadow on in like this upward motion and connect it to your bronzer, it really helps lift your face. And that is definitely the look I'm going for. Just pan on. And you can build this up as much as you want as well. You don't have to go as subtle as I'm going. Or you could even go even more subtle if you like just a really light eye. I'm just making sure that that's totally buffed out. And do it a little bit on my lash line as well. Right down here. Right. Perfect. So now I'm just going to take that Radiance powder that we put on our cheeks and I'm going to pop that on my lid where we put the cream blush. So I'm going to take this on a, what number is this? A 402. And I'm just picking up a wee bit of this and popping it on my lids. It almost gives a kind of like glossy lid effect without the sticky gloss all over your eye. Because it's got such a nice shine, but only kind of in the light. So it's not too glittery. It's really, really nice. I'm just blending that in to the bronzer. Like that. Okay. So now that my brows are kind of spiked up, I've kind of left them bare till this point. So I'm going to go and fill them in. So I'm using the Superdrug B Brow Styler. I'm using the Superdrug B Brow Styler and this is in the shade 3, which is brown. And I'm just going to start filling my brows in. I'm just going to get that little brush again that I used for my eyebrows, if I can find it. And just make sure they're still nice and spiked up. And I don't like to fill my brows in too much. I know some people like kind of a heavy brow, but I like more of a feathered brow. What do you guys think? So I'm just going to pop this on in little like hair-like strokes. So I'm just going to kind of flick it up, starting at the bottom of my brow. And if you put too much of this on, it's got a little spoolie on the end, so you can just go in and almost brush it away. So I'm just filling my brows in, all the kind of sparse areas. So like this one, I've got like no brow tail at all. So I'm just going to pull that out a wee bit. Make sure they're all brushed up. And guys, we're actually running a wee competition with this. So 10 of you actually have the chance to win everything that I'm using today. And all you have to do is recreate this look. And you can add your own twist to it, or, you know, just have fun with it. But yeah, you'll need to do it in the next 48 hours once this is done. And I'll talk a wee bit more about it once I'm finished. But yeah, that's so exciting. So I'm just putting a tiny, tiny, tiny bit through the front of my brow, because I don't want them to be too harsh. I like them to be almost like a little ombre, so they're nice and lighter at the front and a bit more defined at the end. Right. I think that is me for just now. Okay, so time for lashes. I've just went a wee bit too far down on my brows there, so I'm going to show you how I would fix that. So I'm going to take this brush, I've used this already, it's the N312 brush, and I've got a little bit of foundation left on my hand, so I'm literally just going to go in, and this has got a nice wee edge on it, so you can just really get in there and clean it up. Sorry guys, I've got a proper sniffly nose. I think I'm like slightly allergic to foundation, so please excuse me. But yeah, I'm just cleaning this wee bit up where I've went a wee bit too far down. And if you like a proper defined brow, you could go in and just carve the whole thing out. But I'm just going to do just a little bit. And then I'll just go back in with the brush that had the bronzer on, and I'll just blend that out so we can't see it. now we're going to go and start on our lashes. So I like to apply my mascara before my fake lashes. I just find that it blends a lot better. Oh, I'm actually going to go in and curl them a little bit first. So just going to curl them just a tiny wee bit because we're only popping on half lashes. So I want the ones at the front to still be able to stand out. And I'm using the Missguided Oh Eyelash mascara, and this mascara is honestly amazing. It gives me so much length, but I'll show you in a wee second a little before and after once I'm done. And you literally only need one coat of this, like one coat is plenty. So I think you can kind of see now a little before and after. It's amazing. But yeah, I love a half lash at the moment. I can't remember the last time I put on a full lash. I think it just looks so much nicer and a lot more natural with just a little half lash. So I'm going to apply a wee bit of this on my bottom lashes after, I think, but just now I'm just going to get into the lashes. So I've already cut mine in half. I like to use the first half of the lashes where they start small, because I think it just blends a lot easier into your natural lashes if they're not too long to start with. So I'm just going to take these on a little tweezer and get some glue on these. Just making sure that the whole lash band's coated with some glue. And then I'm gonna let these just kind of dry for a wee second. I'm gonna kind of fan them around a wee bit just so they get tacky, because it just honestly makes it so much easier to stick your lashes on if the glue's tacky. If you try and do it when it's really, really wet, they're just gonna slip around and you'll be there forever. So I'm just popping these right on the outer corner. And I'm just gonna fix them with my finger just a tiny bit. My nails get in the way. There we go. Okay, so perfect, that's on. And I like to just give my lashes a little bit of a pinch afterwards, just so that they're really nice and blended in. But you can see they're really, really natural, so they're very nice. Nothing too much. So I'm just gonna go and pop this one on. And just do the exact same. So pop in the comments what your favourite types of lashes are. Are you like a big lash person, or do you like the little corner lashes like me? I love the little cat eye effect that it gives. It's so nice. But yeah guys, if you've got any questions, we're going to do like a little question time thing, so you can pop them in the Q&A section if you've got anything that you want to ask me. So I'm just pinching these with the tweezers, like that. And it just gives that really nice kind of winged out effect, which I love. And before we go on to lips, I'm just going to do underneath my eye. So I've got this little brush here. This is the 403 brush, and I'm just going to go back in with the bronzer and just take it a tiny, tiny bit underneath my eye. Like just in the wee outer corner. I think this makes my eyes look bigger. So I like to just do a tiny wee bit. Like that. And then I'm going to pop a wee bit of mascara on, but only in the outer corners as well. Just where we put that shadow. My bottom lashes are really long as well, so sometimes I feel like it's too much. So I just do a tiny, tiny little bit. Like so. So yeah, now we're going to go on to our lips. So I'm going to be using the Missguided Beauty Pickup Line Lip Liner, and this is in the shade Bougie. And I like to overline my lips just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit so it still looks natural, but I can still have a nice pout. This is a really nice tone as well. It really goes with the rest of the look because we've got quite a blushy look going on here. This has got a nice wee bit pink in it. And then the same to my bottom lip, but I don't overline my bottom lip like at all. And I'm just going to take it a wee bit onto my lip like this and kind of blend it in with my natural lip colour. Perfect. And I'm just going to top that off with a little bit of the Missguided Beauty Lip Juice, and this is just a clear one. So I'm just going to pop that over the top. This has literally the most shine ever. It is gorgeous. Okay, perfect. So I've got natural freckles, but because I like the kind of full coverage look, I always end up covering them up. So I'm going to use this Missguided Freckle Pen, and I'm just going to go in and kind of, I've got a few dark ones that you can see, so I'm just going to go back in and enhance those to start off with. And I really like to add one here and under my eye. I just think it looks nice and cute. And then one maybe over here, just to balance it out. And then I like to do some like random freckles on my nose, so I just kind of dot them anywhere and pat them in with my finger. But sometimes it can be hard, like when you think, oh, they need to look random, they need to look natural. It's hard to put them in that order. So I've found a little hack that I can show you guys that makes it a lot easier. So you just want to take your finger and just draw the dots onto your finger first, and then when you tap your nose, they'll all come off, and then it just guarantees that they're completely random, and it makes it look so much more natural and actually like real freckles. And I like to just keep these to like my nose and just a tiny bit under my eyes. But yeah, I love my natural freckles. Do you guys have freckles, or do you like freckles? Do you want freckles? Because now freckles have become like a trend. I used to hate mine when I was younger. But yeah, love. And if they're a wee bit too dark, you can just go over with your foundation brush and kind of blend them all in. Okay, so we've got a question from Liam, and he's asking if the Freckle Pen lasts all day. So it does. I've worn this all day, literally sweated in it, and none of this comes off. I swear it is amazing. But yeah, I'm going to finish off this look with a little bit of this Prep and Set spray, and I'm just going to spray my face from afar, kind of fan that in. So this will make all the powders and all the liquids we've put on, they'll all melt into one another, and yeah, just gonna wait until this dries in. Okay, so guys, this I think is the finished look. What do you all think? Do you love it? I can't wait to see everybody's recreations, and like I said earlier, there's going to be a competition on, so basically you just have to recreate this look any way that you want. You can add to it, do whatever you want, have fun with it, and if you post it 48 hours after this masterclass and tag Superdrug PR, Missguided Beauty and Be by Superdrug, And there's some hashtags that you need to put as well, but you can find them all in the email. There's a lot more info there. So yeah guys, we've got some time now for some questions if you guys want to ask. Okay, so for some people that missed it, I've just found out that a lot of you have missed it. So I'm just going to go over the look just really quickly. So for brows, I used the Missguided Come At Me Brow and the Benefit Brow Styler. So that's what I've got on my brows today. And for my face, I've got the Superdrug B Filter Foundation. This is in the shade B13, and I've also concealed with the Missguided Made Your Match Concealer, and this is the lightest shade, I'm pretty sure. Then I just contoured with this B Sculpt and Contour Stick, and then what have I got? Oh yeah, liquid blush. So for blush, I used the Superdrug B blush in the shade Apricot. And what have we got? Bronzer, I've got the Missguided Instant Vacay bronzer. This is like a nice little duo. And then for my blush, I've just put this Radiance powder. This is kind of a mix between a blush and a highlight, so I just used that. And on my lips, I've got the Bougie lip liner from Missguided and the clear lip juice. And then I finished everything off with the Freckle Pen just to add some freckles here and there, and then set everything off with the Perfect Base Prep Set and Mist. Okay, so first question is, what brushes am I using and what's my favourite type of brush? So here I was using the Superdrug B brushes, and my favourite type of brush, I feel like I like my fluffy brushes. I feel like if you can do everything with fluffy brushes, because you can just, I like brushes that are quite dense for my face, but for my eyes, I think everything needs to be fluffy so you can really get in there and blend everything out and make sure it's all nice and diffused, because if you're trying to use like a really dense brush on your eyes, it'll be good for colour, but you'll not really be able to blend with them. So yeah, I like fluffy brushes, but you know, everything has their use. So it just totally depends. Right, so we're getting another question in here. So, my favourite product that I used today. So I kind of can't pick. It's got to be between two. I love the liquid blush, just because liquid blush in general is like my favourite thing ever, but this colour and the way it goes on just makes this amazing for me. And the Freckle Pen as well, this is a new favourite for me. Like, I have been using this every day. I'm going to continue to use this every day. It's just so easy, and I think it just makes you look really nice and cute, and I love it. So, do I prefer glam or natural? This is actually quite a funny question, because I think if you looked at my Instagram, you would think full glam all the time, because that's all I really show on my Instagram. It's like full glam, creative looks, stuff like that. But if you actually see me day to day, I'm literally wearing less than this. So yeah, I would say I prefer natural for my day-to-day wear, but you can't beat a bit of full glam. Like, I love that. But usually I just have that for my photos. I think I would actually be kind of embarrassed going outside in full glam sometimes. How did I get into beauty? So I've kind of always loved makeup just from being really young. Like, I remember buying my first mascara and getting everything, but I would practice. I didn't have much makeup as well. Like, I remember being younger and I would practice, and I really wanted to try colourful looks, but I really only had like neutral tones, and I was young, so I couldn't just buy myself more palettes. But yeah, I just started practicing, and I worked in a couple of salons when I was younger as like a Saturday girl, and that kind of got me into, like, I would look at them and I wanted to do what they were doing, and then yeah, it just kind of started from there. But I was almost forced into it. A friend actually asked me if I wanted to do makeup at her salon, and without that I probably would have never started, because you know, you want to do it when you're younger but you don't think it's actually possible. So I'm very thankful that she asked me that day. What products would you use for a super quick look? Any tips for 5-minute makeup? 5-minute makeup is actually like my thing at the moment. So cream products, like I said, liquid blush is my fave. I think I am ready to go if I have concealer, brow gel, like something to like spike my brows up, cream contour, maybe just a little bit, not even, just a wee bit of bronzer, and a liquid blush. Honestly, that is like my go-to. And I like a bit of lip plumper as well, so I usually just chuck that on to finish off my 5-minute makeup, and that's usually me out the door. That's my usual day-to-day go-to. Okay, top tips for Insta TikTok pics. So I would say I've only actually just started getting comfortable taking like my Instagram pictures, but what I would just say is make sure you've got as good lighting as you can, make sure it's like flattering coming from above, and just kind of have fun, like try out new poses, you know, just have fun with it, and just take loads of pictures as well. If you look through my camera roll, there's like 35,000 photos, and they're basically all of me. So just take loads, and then you can go through at the end and just pick the ones you like. Just take loads of pictures from loads of angles with good lighting, and you should be fine. Can we see a before and after? Yeah, so when this goes up, this is recorded and this will be posted on YouTube after, so you'll be able to see a full before and after then, if you want to have a look. So I think we might have one last question. Tips for beginners. I feel like I am a beginner. I don't know why. I feel like I'm not qualified on giving tips for beginners. But yeah, just practice, 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 practice. Like I said, I've literally been practicing since I was about 12, 13. So just keep going at it. If it's something that you love, just do what you want and keep posting. If it's for Instagram, you're trying to go Instagram, just post. Do what you want, make sure that it's stuff that you really like, practice as much as you can, and soon things will start happening for you, like you just will. Okay, so we're just going to have to round things up just now. So I'm just going to give you a little reminder of the competition. So if you want to just recreate this look, add to it, do whatever you want, have fun with it, and post it on Instagram in the next 48 hours, tagging Superdrug PR, Missguided Beauty, and B by Superdrug, and we will pick 10 of you to win everything that I've used today. So yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to see all of her recreations. So yeah, I hope you all had a good time. This has honestly been the most fun ever. Thank you, and thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity. It's honestly amazing. So yeah, thank you. Bye.